It's Bay 93.9, the catch-up with Roxy and Mark, 26 to 6, catching up with one of our fabulous locals, and they've been lining up today for us, haven't they?
It is amazing, the people in Geelong and what they do.
One of the directors from the Geelong Footy Club, Diana Taylor, welcome.
Hello. Hi, Mark. Hi, Roxy.
The crowd's gone wild.
I am loving the 80s theming this afternoon.
Oh,
Loved the
you enjoy
Ice House. Took me back. I'm actually planning my own wedding next year, and it's really hard when you've got a diverse audience range and age range to know what music to choose for the reception.
Yes.
So I think I've landed on the 80s thanks to you guys this afternoon.
Right.
Yeah.
So Eminem's got he's gone?
Oh, I think so.
Bon
Mark.
Jovi.
Okay.
Bon Jovi, definitely.
Bon Jovi's in there, yeah.
Oh, he's sort of in the 80s, isn't he?
Yeah.
So does this mean that there might be a bit of a thematic trend with your dress and that, with some shoulder pads?
Oh,
You're not going to go that
with
far.
the wedding dress. Oh, look,
Taffeta?
Taffeta, the meringue. There's just so many options, Roxy. I might need some advice. I'll come speak to you
totally
later.
Some
there.
jip and carnations in the... Okay. There was a lot of jip going on in ours.
Really? You
in
don't
the
want to go
80s.
near an open flame, Mark, do you?
No.
No.
Don't walk too fast in that. You'll combust.
That's right. And no one wants to hear you walk either.
Do you know, I was looking at
gosh.
someone's wedding photos the other day before we digress a bit more, and they were wearing a light grey suit with a thin pink tie, and I think it was a lemon shirt or something like that. And the only difference between that wedding suit from last weekend and the one that I wore in '86 was I had a pink cummerbund. That was honestly the only difference.
It's a Back to the Future, isn't
Goes
it?
around,
30
comes
years
around.
later. It takes 30 years, but it'll get there. Anyway, congratulations
You
for
and your
next year.
cummerbund.
Thank you.
Now,
Next year?
Next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
we're going to track this wedding. We're going to follow this wedding all the way through.
Roxy's your stylist.
She sure
We'll
is.
make sure it happens. Now, some exciting news, really exciting news this week, Diana. First of all, by the way, we're not talking about football.
Okay.
Okay, so
I think that might be best that we move on to Brisbane at a later stage.
Yes. So, but exciting news for you this week. You have been announced as the new chair of Anam Cara House right here in Geelong.
Congratulations.
Which is
Thank you.
really huge. That's fantastic. Now, you have been involved.
I have, Roxy. Up until this point, I've been the chair of the foundation, the fundraising arm, and I've taken over from a wonderful gentleman. Lloyd Gosling has been involved with Anam Cara for 10 years. And there are so many fabulous organisations in Geelong. We are incredibly lucky to be living and working where we are. And Anam Cara is a really special place. And for people who don't know, it's located beside St Mary's Basilica, and it's a home. And it was actually Father Dillon's former home. And Father Dillon, 8 years ago, gave that property over for hospice services. Every year, tragically, there are hundreds of people in Geelong who are diagnosed with life-limiting illnesses, and they need help and support. And many people want to receive that support in a home-like environment. So we have national accreditation. We have nurses and doctors who support our services. We run a day hospice program for people. We run respite care if there are carers out there that need support overnight, or they may even want just a day, where our guests come and are looked after by our wonderful volunteers and staff. We also support people who are at the end of life. What we know from the statistics is that 74% of people wish to die at home and only 16% can. So Anam Cara provides that point of difference. It's a home environment, so people are not in an aged care facility and they're not in a hospital, but they are surrounded by their family and friends. And just a wonderful, tragic story, but wonderful story last year of Annie Kavanagh, who was the 47-year-old mother who tragically passed away last year but was cared for in her last days in Anam Cara House. But not only did we care for Annie, we cared for Darren Longridge, her husband, and her daughter Ella at the same time. So just a wonderful place to be, cared for people who have time to hold somebody's hand, to listen to their stories, to do what needs to be done at that point. And the other thing I wanted to say too was that we also provide care carers accommodation. So much like Ronald McDonald House, if
right.
people are travelling into Geelong and are going to the hospital and visiting loved ones and don't have anywhere to stay, they can actually come and stay in Anam Cara.
Wow.
So we
great.
offer that service too. So over the years, since we've been operating 8 years, we've helped 15,000 people across Geelong and region.
Serious.
See, one thing I've always felt about Anam Cara House is that it's almost this little quiet achiever
Yes.
that you don't necessarily know about unless you need it. And I think, and when you describe the services that it provides, you can see why that is. But it's such a special place in our community.
When you know it's there, and I knew it was respite accommodation, but when you put it like that, to take away the clinical atmosphere of a hospital and that kind of thing, and just come
Absolutely.
to home.
Absolutely. And we do work very closely with our hospital services and doctor services, of course. But the people who come to us are our guests. They're not patients.
Yeah.
And they are treated as though they're on their own home. And I think that is a big point of difference, as you say, Mark, with us.
And,
Fantastic.
I know when my dad, he went into respite, this was in Colac, but in his last sort of 24 hours, we didn't want to leave him and we didn't want to, but it's really hard if you've got no facilities or nothing do you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
this is an amazing thing.
And the accommodation means that families can stay, and we've had whole families stay in the room overnight with their loved one at that end of life stage, and that's been incredibly important in saying goodbye, but also in the healing process for the people who remain as well. We rely solely upon donations, and we work with a number of organisations and individuals across Geelong, but we believe that there's an absolute need for this service in Geelong. And as you say, Roxy, it just provides people with a home-like environment when people are at end of life.
Can I just ask one question? Like if it happened to me, and I'm not sure, Dana, if I explained to you, but I have got a new cat, Barney
that.
Squirrel. Would he be able to come in and see me before he?
We absolutely do have pets in
Pets
the
are
house.
so good. They don't have animal therapy for no reason. Yeah,
but
that's
your
amazing.
pets are so important to you to be able to bring in a dog, or that you've been close to, that you can say goodbye to, and it just makes me want to cry.
Diana, congratulations on your new role at Anam
gorgeous.
Cara House.
Thank you, Mark.
And continued work with the Geelong Footy Club.
That's right,
and your role as a
absolutely.
director.
Continued work. We're heading into Brisbane this weekend,
Yes.
Sunday at
Home
4:40.
game.
Absolutely,
Under
home game,
lights.
and under lights, fantastic. And Roxy and I will be attending the first 9 Lives event of the year.
Yes, and this is exciting. 9 Lives is sort of, I suppose it was a female coterie group, but now it's just a whole bunch of people who, want to enjoy their footy,
great.
who sometimes often are women, and we're having luncheon, and then we're staying on in the Peroni Lounge to watch the game, which is
time's
going to be
lunch served?
amazing.
Absolutely, 1 o'clock will be
Doesn't
our
the game start at
function.
4:40?
We've got a bit to do before then,
Oh
Mark.
dear. Oh dear, Roxy.
You
See
are,
you.
you are more
It'll
than
be-
welcome.
See you bright and early at 4:00 Monday afternoon for the catch up.
We'll be fine.
Thank
We'll
you,
be
Diana,
fine.
for
Thank you
coming
for
in.
your time.
It is the
Appreciate it.
catch up here at Bay 93.9.